Unequally yoked. Oh my goodness. Well, we talked a bit about this, right? This is what people tell me. It's hard. When you do marry someone who's not a believer and you are a believer, it is hard. So there's a reason why it's in the Bible, don't be unequally yoked. Because it's complicated. It makes going through life more complicated. And it doesn't stop at marriage. I mean, it just starts there. When you have children, if you have children, you get issues on how to raise them, and that goes on and on and on. So there's a reason why pastors usually say don't go there. So deal with criticism. This is the thing about rejection, right? It's rarely about you. You have to keep that in mind. It's rarely personal, especially after a few days. If someone dumps you or ghosts you or whatever, it's rarely about you. It's usually about them. So it's rarely real criticism, even if they give it to you in feedback. Sometimes people will say, oh well, I'm just not that into you because you're just a bit boring. People will say that. I've had people say that to me. But the thing to keep in mind is, suppose you go, this is for the ladies, sorry guys, I'll get to you. This is for the ladies. Suppose you go shopping with your friend for shoes. She will fall in love with red high heels that you will think are ugly and horrible. And you will fall in love with these cool cowboy boots that she thinks are ugly and horrible. Does that say something about the shoes? Probably not. It just probably says something about your preference. You like, but you feel comfortable with. Same for the guys. I mean, you can both come home with a completely different car and completely disagree on whether or not that would be the best car to buy. Because you have different preferences. This is how things work. We're wired to like different kinds of things and people, which is good. If we don't go for the same kind of person, then that one person will be really in trouble. It's good to have preferences. If you get dumped or people don't get back to you, it's usually about their preferences and not so much about you and how you're not a good fit, or you're not good. So this is what we do usually. We let that get into our heart, and we shouldn't, because that is detrimental and unnecessary. Which is not true. And if you look at it in the long run, I mean, rejection can be really hard for a month or 3, if it's just someone you dated. I'm not talking about a divorce here. But if someone you dated and they don't want to see you again, that can be hard, and it can be complicated, and it can be annoying, but you will get over it. And they will get you. Now, so many guys I've dated who are now married will say to me, thank you for dumping me. Because that led me to my wife. That's how it works. So how not to reject? What's the worst rejection you ever had? What do you think is the worst way to reject someone? Yeah, I once went on 3 dates with a guy, then to reject him, and he was in tears. He was about to propose. Just a bit soon.
On the third date?
On the third date. He was really, and but this is tricky. I always say to people, you are responsible for your own expectations, not for the other person's. But again, there's sort of a fine line to walk, right? If you go on and I hear these stories all the time, if you go on a lot of dates with someone, they will expect something of you. And that makes sense. Doesn't mean that you are not allowed to reject them. It doesn't mean that expectations are raised. And I think the terrible thing about ghosting is actually, like you say, the not knowing. I think we would do each other a favor and be respectful to each other if we just are clear about what we want. And that goes both ways. And if you don't want to go on a second date, that's fine. But if you're not telling that to the other person, they keep on guessing, like you say. Because they don't know what went wrong. Maybe nothing went wrong. But you just need to hear that out loud. So yeah. It's tricky business. But as I said, it is not fatal. You will live and they will live. And the more you deal with it, the easier it gets. Especially when you have them lined up. Because when this date says no, you have the next one next week anyway. That helps. Date them again. Now, I always say to people, go on 2 dates. Just go on the first date, and if you have no red flags, nothing to worry about, then go on a second date. 2 dates, I think, are usually much more informative than 1 date can be. Because you show up different persons sometimes. It's just, you went on a coffee date after work on Friday, you're tired, and you're not your best self, and then you have a second date the week after on Saturday when you're rested. And it's more fun, because you're more rested. That happens all the time. And if we give each other a second chance, which is not very much like our society, it will tremendously improve your dating life, actually. I can quite guarantee that. And plus, it takes your mind off the whole dilemma after a first date, right? Where you go like, should I or should I not see them again? If you just get that dilemma off the table, just thinking, all I need to know now is that they're not completely psycho. And then I can go on a second date. It just frees you to be more present with the person. Now looks. Looks don't matter. As long as you're a billionaire prince who owns a castle. This is another tricky one, right? And I've said it this morning, I will say it again. Looks say nothing about a person's character at all. But we are. I mean, we look at each other, that's what we do. Which is why the whole Tinder thing is tricky. Because that's all you have to go on. Which is why I personally don't think I would do Tinder. Although I cannot have a real say in that, because Tinder sort of appeared when I stopped dating. Because I got married. So I don't have first-hand experience, but the experiences I hear from it are very mixed. And if you want to do Tinder, I think it helps to do that with certain real specific boundaries in mind. There is a Christian version of Tinder on the market lately. Does anyone have it? Know what it's called? I forgot what it's called.
I tried out one, I don't know if it's the one you're talking about, like maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
And wow, I got sort of worse
dates.
Not necessarily dates, because I deleted it very quickly, but I don't know if because you're going on there with a Christian expectation and you think you're going to be really nice guys, but they're just as bad as what everybody would say about Tinder, from my experience, and it might be a completely...
Using the whole Christian label can be tricky, right? Yeah. Well, I quite like the whole profile picture with your Bible in hand sort of approach, because it communicates visually something that should be very clear, but people don't read, and especially on Tinder, people don't read. People don't read in general, probably. So if you put on a profile picture with a Bible, you have more of a chance to find like-minded people. And I think it doesn't hurt to be creative, and again, involve your team, involve other single people, to be creative together, to figure out how to do this stuff in a way that it will be helpful. Because again, also Tinder, it's just a tool, and if it works, and it has worked for a lot of people. And then I'm not talking hookups, I'm talking real proper relationships.